What's going on YouTube? Today I bring you my tight end rankings for the 2022 NFL Draft. I have one guy in here that it may look like I'm copying someone else, but I'm not. I'll explain it later. But without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off, number one, we have Jalen Weidermeyer. And Weidermeyer, I really like him. He's a nice physical dude, very good at blocking. Not very good, but it's not a weakness for sure. And catching is also very nice. Now he's not a receiver really. I mean, his speed is kind of lackluster at times. He's not slow, but he's just not fast. And his routes are definitely something he can work on. He's not the best route runner by a mile. He's only 20 years old, though. He's in his third year here. Very nice size, obviously, and he does still run with a lot more, just speed and stuff than his size might indicate. I do really like Jalen Weidermeyer. I don't have a first-round grade on any tight ends as of right now, but he is my top guy, so Jalen Weidermeyer here at number one. Number two, this is where it's probably going to look like I'm copying Broshmo is who it is, but Trey McBride, I'm not copying him. I've actually, my hometown team is CSU, and so I've actually watched this guy for his first 3 years, although he didn't really play in his first year. These last 2 years, I've watched him, and I really, really like Trey McBride. All around, he's just a fantastic tight end. He's a fantastic blocker, honestly. You might not see that on tape, but like he's got this like natural kind of like power to his game and stuff, and you can see it on tape obviously too. It's just might not be something that like sticks out. As a receiver, he's really, really good. Not only does he have great hands and stuff, but he also has great run after the catch ability. Where his weaknesses kind of come in is his production is not the best. It's not. At face value, it seems like nice production for a tight end, but you also have to take into consideration the kind of teams that CSU is playing. He's also not dealing with a good quarterback play, though. Competition, like I just said, they're not playing the best competition over there in the Mountain West. The best teams you're going to be playing are probably like, CU and maybe Idaho if you get them on your schedule. And then also he doesn't have like the biggest big play ability in the world. He's not going to make those crazy downfield catches. He's not going to run like 60, 70 yards for a touchdown, but he still has the all-around blocking, receiving, just play after the catch, all that kind of stuff. He really has it. And I think he's a guy that could enjoy somewhat of a breakout season this year. And maybe even if he doesn't, I think he could be on a lot of teams' radars. I really do like Trey McBride, and I would go check this guy out some more if you haven't. Number three, I have Isaiah Likely out of Coastal Carolina. Isaiah Likely, I really like. Very good athlete. He has very, very nice run after the catch ability. Pretty nice hands, and I also really like his speed. For his size, he has very, very nice speed. Where he really lacks is that blocking, physicality side of things. He's kind of more like a receiver in a tight end's body. However, he doesn't have like some of the raw traits to be a receiver, and plus the size obviously still is favorable to put him at tight end. He's not a horrible blocker, but it's definitely far from a strength. And physicality, I really think he needs to be a bit more physical. I probably have about a third-round grade on him right now, and he can become a second-rounder, really, if he just picks up that physicality a bit. But he's just so, he shies away from like physicality a lot. He can still he can still shrug off a guy. That's the thing, is he has the physicality, he just doesn't use it. And I think the blocking ability is also there. He could very well be my tight end number one by the end of the year. It's just, for me right now, I think he's just missing those tight end traits, but he's still a very talented receiver. Number four, we have Jaleel Billingsley out of Alabama. This is a guy that a lot of people love, and I love him too. Now, people don't necessarily know about him yet. As an athlete, he is incredible. He's extremely physical. He has fantastic speed, and all around, he has all of the traits. But there's a couple things that really have held him back. Production definitely has not been there in his first 2 years. Blocking also, again, it's not bad, but it definitely could be better. And the main thing is really just, will he finally put it all together? He's had to deal with some very good receivers there, obviously, and like Mac Jones, Tua. They've been throwing to, those guys. And he's gotten a few catches, but really his production is very, very lackluster. I think he could break out this year, but if he doesn't, I could definitely see him going back one more year to Alabama. He's only 19 years old. He's got very nice size. He has the traits. It's really just, can he put it together? And now that you don't have 5, top 10 type receivers there at Alabama with you, I think this year he might get a fair more bit targets than normal, especially with Bryce. Is it Bryce Love or Bryce Young? Whatever his name is. I think, I like him as well. So I think he can enjoy a breakout year. I have him at, this is a prediction, but I have him at 4 right now, although technically he really isn't even on the list if you're talking about, like, if you were to draft them today. So number 5, we have Charlie Kolar out of Iowa State. Iowa State actually has a very, very good team. We've already featured 2 other players on the quarterback and running back list. Charlie Kolar, I feel like he has it all. Size, very, very nice, obviously. He's got great play after the catch ability, super athletic receiver, and just as a receiver in general, very good. Does not have like that elite speed, but he still does have nice speed for the tight end position, especially considering his size. Where he also kind of lacks, similar to Isaiah Likely, is he just really does not have that physicality, and naturally that's going to take off points for him being a tight end. He's a fine enough blocker. I wouldn't list it as a strength or weakness. But that physicality, just again, he needs to get more physical, because if so, he has it all to be a top 10 like tight end. There are a lot of tight ends in this class that it really just depends on if they can fix this one thing, and that'll pretty much depend whether they're a mid-level to backup or a top 10 type tight end. Charlie Kolar is one of those guys. I think he has a ton of upside, huge receiving ability, and so I really do love Charlie Kolar, especially if Brock Purdy has a bounce back year. I could definitely see Kolar rising up the rankings here. So number 6, we have Cade Otton, you have to tell me in the comments below, out of Washington. Another guy with pretty nice size. I could not find his age, but he's in his 4th year here at Washington. Very nice blocker. That's one thing that immediately popped off to me, was that he is a very, very good blocker. Maybe the best blocking tight end in this class. And he's actually a pretty nice receiver as well. I mean, he doesn't ever drop balls, really. I mean, he makes nice contested catches as well. Where he kind of hurts is after the catch, or even, trying to get that catch. Definitely suffers from lack of speed, and is not a good play after the catch guy. He's not going to make you miss. He's not going to truck you over. He's not going to gain extra yards. He's a simple go out there, run 5 yards, catch it, and he's down. And if a team wants to run their tight end like that, I think he'd be a great fit, because again, he is a fantastic blocking tight end. And I don't really think he has the traits to ever be like a top 10, top 15 tight end, but I think he could be, at the very best, a very good blocking tight end. At the worst, I feel like he's great depth. So, Cade Otton, not the biggest upside in the world, but if a team wants like an elite blocking tight end, this is your guy in this class. Number 7, we have Jeremy Ruckert out of Ohio State, and this is a guy I really just want I just really want him to show me more. Once again, great size, only 20, even though he's in his senior year here. Has big playability, a great catching tight end, and very, very good speed. He's probably the speediest tight end in this class. Where he suffers is, besides the production, not the best blocker in the world, and also suffering from that lack of physicality, which are 2 kind of, not okay signs. The production is also, again, what I'm mainly pointing out here is that I think if he puts up a great year there at Ohio State, or even a good year, he could be in the top 5 of these tight ends. But while he possesses really big upside receiver potential, he just really lacks, again, those traits of a tight end, the blocking, the physicality, to where if you want to use him as, something similar to Travis Kelce or Darren Waller, where you're not really blocking him, I think he could be great. He has a ton of upside, but he's really not even showing his true skill. There's specific plays where he shines. I mean, if you were watching the college football playoffs against Clemson, dude had the picture you see here is from that play where he made this incredible, 50-yard play, one-handed catch. Like, he's shown he's athletic. He has that big playability. He's a good receiver. It's just those tight end traits lacking. And also the fact that, sure, he had to share the ball with, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, but he had Justin Fields throwing to him and still suffered from a lack of production. So depending on how the receivers and the O-line and the quarterback plays there, honestly, he could have a fantastic year or he could go undrafted. It really depends on this year. Number 8, we have Jake Ferguson out of Wisconsin. Once again, nice size. Really, at times doesn't use his size to his advantage. I list physicality as his weakness there. A lot of unphysical tight ends. While he has the size and the strength to be a physical tight end, he just simply isn't. His routes are not very good. He's definitely a blocking tight end, and also not very good speed. Here's the thing. He's pretty much a copy and paste of the guy we literally just mentioned like 2 spots ago that I'm forgetting the name of now. Cade Otton. He's basically a copy paste Cade Otton, but not as good at catching. Now, he is a good catcher. I just think Cade Otton's better. He's got play after the catch ability. That's the one thing I'd give him over Otton, is that he can actually, stiff arm a guy. He can actually, bowl over someone. Very good blocker as well. Again, not as good as Cade Otton, so I think kind of like maybe in a few traits he's a bit better, but otherwise he's just kind of worse at everything as Cade Otton. Otherwise, a copy and paste. I'm not exactly sure his age, but I'm pretty sure he is. Like, I think he's at least 23 or something like that. But I couldn't find exactly. Maybe he's younger. I'm not sure. But yeah, Jake Ferguson, copy and paste Cade Otton with a bit good traits, but I'd rather take the traits on Cade Otton because, again, at the end of the day, Jake Ferguson is a blocking tight end, and I don't think he's as good of a blocker. So I have him down here at 8, but I really don't see him rising up these rankings at all. I think that's pretty much what he is, and this is where he will be next year unless he really, really sucks. Number 9, we have Josh Whyle out of Cincinnati, a very intriguing prospect because this guy's literally the definition of a receiver and a tight end's body. Horrible blocker, and also suffering from that lack of physicality like a lot of these other guys. But when you look at the rest of them, he's easily the least physical guy in this class and easily the worst blocking tight end of this class. But those are the only things about him, because like when you look at him as an actual receiver, I mean, he's got insane speed for his size. He is super freaking athletic for his size, and he has probably the best play after the catch ability in this class. And so that's why he's a bit of an intriguing prospect, because really he can move to wide receiver in the NFL, and I think he might work out a bit better there. Tall wide receivers like this can work out. Now, he's a bit heavier than maybe you might like for a tight end, or for a receiver. That's why he's a tight end, obviously, for Cincinnati. So it's really interesting to look at what teams in the NFL would want to do with him. He's a horrible blocker and he's horribly unphysical, but as a receiver, he's incredible. So, we'll have to see. I think he translates better to receiver in the NFL, but we really have to see. He needs to have probably another good year for me to want to put him even close to the top 5. I just, with the division and stuff like that, I think this is a proper placement for him right now just because of uncertainty of, he's not going to survive at tight end in the NFL. Unless they never, ever use him to block, he's not going to survive at tight end. And at receiver, we'll have to see how he plays because it can be a very different game. So for right now, I have him at 9, but could raise up these pretty high if he has a great season at Cincinnati. Or just shows me he can block or be physical. And then number 10, we have Austin Stogner or Stogner. Let me know in the comments down below. Not a good blocking tight end. I said that Josh Whyle is probably the worst blocking tight end in this class. I take that back. Austin Stogner is by far and away the worst blocking tight end in the class. Now, with that, he still is a pretty good receiver and stuff, and he actually is physical, unlike some of these other guys, but he's not as good a receiver as a few of these other guys, like Josh Whyle or some of these other guys. But then you take the fact that he's not as good a catcher, even though he's a good receiver, and the fact that he's probably the worst blocking tight end in this class, and then add on the fact that he can be wildly inconsistent with literally everything, blocking, receiving, just production in general. The fact that he's wildly inconsistent, he's not as good a catcher, he's a horrible blocker. I'm kind of tempted to not even put him on this list. We have one guy in the guys to take note of, but I couldn't put him above Stogner just because I do really still like the receiving ability on Stogner. But the thing is, he's never going to be your tight end number 1, and he's just such a horrible blocker that he really can't be your number 2 or 3. So unless he shows me that he can block this year or that he has truly elite receiving potential, probably undrafted and not even signed. And then our guy to take note in is James Mitchell out of Virginia Tech. Really, I mean, I think this is a guy that, like, it's pretty make or break for him this year. He's either going to boom or bust. I really don't see him having that big of a year, which is why he's here. Maybe he's not as bad as Austin Stogner, but I just feel like you combine, like, the fact that he's not the best receiver in the world, but he's not the best blocker in the world, with the competition he faces, all that combined, I just kind of found it hard to put him on this list. But he's still someone to at least take note of, because he could enjoy a very good year and be on this list by year's end. But that is my tight end rankings for the 2022 NFL Draft. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Tomorrow we're going to be doing our cornerback rankings for the NFL, not like the rookies next year. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.